This is Sharon Terry. The date is April 8, 2008, and I'm interviewing my grandmother, Darlene Hancock. Okay, grandmother, now tell me about your family and then the families who
Well,
came to
I
Fannin
was
County.
Darlene Stahl, and the Stahl family came from Kentucky with several other families. The Higdons, that was Ruth Stevens' grandmother, the Mosses, and the Christians in 1900. And my mother's people, the Jacksons, her mother's people came from Pennsylvania earlier than that because my grandfather helped build the uh, courthouse in 1988.
Oh, the 1888
88.
courthouse.
And
And his name was Jackson?
my mother's mother was a Jackson. They're buried out here in Willow Isle.
Okay.
And the house they lived in is still standing down here on Cedar Street, next door to their daughter Fanny. Fanny married Mr. McMillan, and some time ago a man in California wrote what he remembered, and he said this McMillan had a music store on Panther Row, and he thought he was a black man. Well, he wasn't, because he married my great aunt Fanny. And he did quite well. I know she had her own greenhouse, and they could all grow things, all of them. One of their brothers helped Mr. Sisler. And when he quit, so they had no more greenhouses.
Oh, my goodness.
And he was growing everything out there.
Uh-huh.
But my daddy was 12 years old when they came to Texas. He was born 1888. And he went to work for a dairyman for a while. And he was working for Leonard Bailey, who had a hardware store there where the flower shop is on the corner of the square. He was working, Mr. Bailey had this dairy north of town.
Okay.
But before they moved out there, when they got married,
Yeah, when they got married?
yeah, when he married Lily Mae Lowe, they lived out on Seven Oaks Road.
Oh,
That
okay.
was in the country then.
Oh, yeah.
And it was about 2 houses west of Con.
Okay.
So that's where I was born, in 1914. And then they must have moved real soon out north of town. And I remember a few instances there. But they said we moved away from there about the time I was 2 years old.
But you have memories of being
And
there?
there's just a few things. And then we lived out on the, of course it wasn't highway then, 56. It wasn't there. But the road was on the other side. You went down east of the river, which was 4th Street.
Okay.
Turn and went over the railroad and went down the road there.
Oh, so 56 wasn't even there.
Huh. That was just all farmland.
Oh, my goodness.
And so we had to dairy out there. And then it must have been, I was about 5 years old. My daddy bought the land out of Wellwild Cemetery,
North of it.
where all that new part is now.
Uh-huh.
That was our heirs. And he died in 1928.
So you were 14.
He wasn't quite 14.
Oh, my goodness.
Because he died in March. So then my mother and I moved to town, and I started high school that fall.
But you were telling me that your parents made a trip and you and your grandparents took care of the dairy, didn't you, one time?
The only vacation they ever had, I was 10 years old, and they left me home to take care of the business, and the grandparents to take care of me. And that's the only vacation I remember they had, because without the kind of refrigeration you have now, the cows had to be milked at midnight and the milk delivered. And at noon, and it was delivered.
Oh gosh.
All the refrigeration you had was this huge ice box, and we'd get these big blocks of ice.
Right.
That was the only refrigeration you had then.
And so, and it had to be delivered by a cart, I guess, or a wagon?
Well, at first we had a wagon with Kate and Jack mules, and they knew the route. They would just walk it. And sometimes they'd get a high school boy to stand in the back and deliver the milk. But then, when the cars became plentiful, we had a truck that my daddy could drive. And even after he was paralyzed 4 years before he died.
Oh, wow.
And they thought he would die. He was in nowhere in the hospital a month. But we brought a registered nurse home with us, and she got him up on crutches and cane, and he could be down in milk, and he could drive the milk truck.
Even though he was
And
paralyzed?
he lived 4 more years.
Oh my goodness, amazing.
Never did know what caused
The problem.
because he had a disability insurance policy, so that company sent 2 physicians from Houston up here, but they couldn't diagnose it either. That was in 1924, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't have the means of diagnosing it.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So that week, was it a weekend, or how long were they gone that
a
time?
week.
They were gone a week? Was it in the summer, or were you in school?
I don't remember what time, but I knew all the customers. So I took all the orders.
And who did the deliveries?
I never did like telephone after that. I would beg.
So did you make the deliveries, or did somebody
No,
else?
see, the hired hands were doing all that.
So, but you took care
No,
of
I
the
wasn't driving till I was, 14, I think.
So the time your dad died, you were driving to be able to take your mother places.
But she was driving, but she never did learn to drive the Chrysler. She could drive the truck,
Oh.
but she had a hard time with the Chrysler.
I'll be.
And I remember we were caught up in Oklahoma one Christmas, and she had a bad hemorrhage, and I had to drive home. I was 14.
Oh my goodness.
And that's when Preston Road around there was just clay. And I was just horrified. I thought it was raining. What'll I do?
Oh my goodness.
But we got home all right.
So I guess you had the starter. They had the starter pedal in the floor, and where were the gears? Was it on the
Yeah.
on the on the steering column? I guess. Wow, amazing. So you moved to Bonham and you started high school.
Yeah.
That year. And where was the high school?
It was over there where it burned on the, over there. It's just over there by the auditorium.
Oh,
It was there on
okay.
the corner.
Oh, right next to
Yeah,
it.
it was there on the corner.
Oh, okay.
And it burned later.
Cool. Did you graduate from it there, or was and it burned after that?
I graduated in 1931. I skipped 10th grade. I didn't go to school very long. Because we only had to have 11 grades, and I just went 10.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I bet you made good grades too. Wow.
Well, then I went to work in the law office, and that's where I got my education.
Oh wow. So you were how old when you went to work?
I went to work until I was 17.
You were 17, you started in the law office. Wow. And who were you working for?
And Judge Henry Cunningham and Trav Lipscomb. And they had their office up above Hunt's. Their Hunt's store was in the middle of the south.
Right, in the south of
South Square.
Yeah, south of the square. And their office was above Hunt.
Yeah.
Who else was working in the office?
Well, at the time that I went there, they hired another woman, but she didn't stay too long. And then Bernice Um, but now, like, Bernice Newman came to work there. And she worked there. Well, I got sick in 1936 and was out, with TB for about 5 years.
Oh my goodness.
And then I went back to work about last of 1940, part-time, till I got, and I stayed there until 1951.
Wow.
And then I went to work for the VA.
So when you went to work as a 17-year-old, did you take dictation and do everything?
Yep.
So you were the only person in the office, basically?
There were 2 of us there.
Okay.
And,
Had to handwrite the wills and all the stuff?
oh, yes. I worked for Judge Cunningham, and we handled most of the estates
Probate?
and that stuff like that. Mr. Lipscomb was a criminal lawyer.
Oh. Oh, okay. Wow. And you did real estate stuff, I guess?
Oh, examined the abstracts. I remember after Buster Cole came there later on, the abstracts were just piled all over the place. We never did catch up, no way.
Oh my goodness.
Because I worked for Judge Buster Cole.
Oh my goodness.
Bernice had to have Mr. Lipscomb. He was a trial. If he had to be in court in Sherman at 10 o'clock, he didn't leave here at 10 o'clock.
Oh my goodness.
Kim, you know who, I guess. Oh, he was something else. He had me running to the post office. As many times as I'd go, he was looking for money to come in, because nobody had any money.
Oh yeah.
That was during the Depression.
Uh-huh.
And he was always expecting some money to come in.
Well, so you went back to work in 1940?
Yeah, part-time.
Part-time.
Until I could pay them.
So what was the thinking about the war in Europe in 1940?
Well, they would register for the draft when I left Kerrville. See, I stayed down there.
Oh, is that where you were for those 5 years? Was in
No,
Kerr?
I wasn't there. I was in Dallas in the sanatorium. Then we came home. And then I got worse. And Dr. Carmen, my uncle, wanted to take me to Kerrville. He thought that would just help me. And Dr. Carmen said, well, we know now that climate doesn't cure tuberculosis, but a change of scenery might help. Just go on. So he and my aunt, Bill, took me down there. And then Grace Denton came with my roommate. Uncle Denton had White's funeral.
Uh-huh.
And then she had to come home. And I came back for a little while, then I went back down there. And I was there when they were registering for the draft. And then I went in, yes, I knew about the war. I went in the draft board for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Sending them off to war.
After Pearl Harbor Day? I mean,
Yeah.
December 7th, 1941.
Yeah, I went in there in November 42. And I worked till we liquidated boards. I was coordinator of both boards by then. We had one board from the west side of the county and then the east side.
Oh.
They'd been separate, but they combined them before it was over. So that was in May 1947, I think.
Wow.
That we liquidated and send all the records to Austin.
So you had to send when they were called up to duty, you had to send those out? Wow.
It's a lot of work to it.
Oh, sure. And where did they go to training from here?
They went to different boards.
Different places?
Yeah. Some of them went down to, well, I think it was Camp Walters, and then some went to...
Was that at Tyler, or? Was that Camp Walters at Tyler, or what was that?
Down that stuff system.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Tyler.
No. they went to different places. So some went in the Navy and some went in
Right.
the Army.
Right.
Yeah, it was. But you never seen it, never will see anything like that again.
Well, I hope not.
'Cause, it didn't seem that not many of them resented it. We had trouble with it, but good spirited people, were so patriotic in those days. And anyway, it was a different world.
When Tim and I recently saw a plaque of 5 sons from the same family in New York. I thought, oh my goodness. And during that time they had a training for pilots or something out here at the airport?
Yeah, I went out there and worked a month. Everybody else was going out there, so I did too. And that was a basic first thing. And that's where Leonard Gerner was, and all that they stayed there. Undersea, they stayed here. They married the local girl. And Dick Cruders, they were all instructors.
Oh, okay. And for the planes?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was working in supply. Muddy. That was the worst thing I ever got into. I spent 1 month.
And you went back to the
back to
office?
And see, in the meantime, Buster Cole came in just before I came back to work.
So there were 3 in the office then. Wow. So in 1951 you went out to the VA to work?
Yeah.
And what did you do after that?
I worked in volunteer. When I went there, it was called Special Services. It was recreation, volunteer service, library, and chaplains.
Oh.
And arts and crafts. But then they later called it voluntary service. But I was still working for everybody.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
I did Captain Gorham's work for 20 years.
Oh, wow. Wow. So was there an influx of wounded right after World War II? Like, were there a lot of wounded guys come in?
Yeah, a lot, but so many were in the domiciliary, and a lot of them were diabetics, lots of it. And so many of these people had a hard time financially. Maybe their wives had been ill and they'd spent all their money, and they ended up there in the domiciliary, living there.
But were they relatively young guys?
Well, they were veterans of World War II, most of them.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
But people, it was, I'd been through the Depression, and we didn't have Medicare then and all these things to help people.
Right.
And a lot of people just were in such bad financial condition they had to have help, and they were veterans. That was the thing to do.
Right. Right. And then came the Korean conflict. Did it have any bearing on y'all?
Let's see, that was in, what, the 50s?
Yeah. Sometime in the 50s.
Well, of course, we didn't get any of those for a while. But I left in 79. Retired.
Wow. So, 7 years?
And I saw lots of changes
Oh, I bet
in
you
the
did.
town and different things happening.
Yeah. So, the whatever foundry or whatever, when was that started here?
Well, John brought found it over here about the late 30s. Southwest Pop had a contract with the Navy, and he wanted John over here. Mr. Risser wanted John to bring the foundry from Greenville over here to make things for them. Well, Edith, his sister, and her husband owned the foundry, and they didn't want to cut them.
Oh. It was in Greenville?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
John had come there from Dallas and gone to work in the foundry.
And let's see, his last name was Dickey, right?
Dickey.
John Dickey.
John Dickey.
Okay.
So he had married in Greenville. That's Martha Lou's mother and the boys.
Right.
So they all moved to Bonham. They hadn't lost the settle.
So they married before they moved to Bonham?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they all came at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Hadn't lost the was Locke Reynolds, settled with him, and then came over here and built the foundry.
And where was the foundry?
It was across the railroad tracks from the museum.
Okay.
Over there
Where that meat
yeah.
factory was later?
There.
Was that the same building?
Oh no.
Oh, that's where I
And
thought
the
it
original
could've been.
building burned.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it was 1959 or 60. The foundry burned.
Were they still using it as a foundry when it burned?
And Mr. Risser put him back in business. He didn't know what he was getting into, but he did.
So what did they make during World War II? I guess they
were making something that for Southwest Bomb.
Oh, okay, for the Navy.
Yeah, it was all secret.
For the Navy.
Yep.
Oh. And then it burned, and then he
They
rebuilt
put it back.
it.
And see, when did we sell it?
When did you marry Papa Dickey?
47.
Okay.
We didn't get it. We put the foundry back because we sold it in 56.
Okay, so it was before that it
Phil
burned.
Rain from Tulsa.
You sold it to whom?
Phil Rain. C-R-A-N-E. And he was going to show these country people how to run a foundry. And he was gone in 1 year.
He got shown, that sounds like. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, what did you do for enjoyment in your early years when you were growing up years? You
I
said
didn't do too much because when I was growing up, there wasn't much to do around here. And we didn't, and the roads were too bad. You couldn't get out too far away and get in as much trouble those days. But after I had TB, the doctor told me, he said, you can work or play one. You can't do both.
Oh.
So I didn't do much. John was the active one. He went fishing all the time.
Oh, okay.
And so I didn't do too much. I went to church. I played bridge.
Well, how did you and Papa Dickey know each other for a while before y'all married?
Well, yeah, I knew him. He came to the draft board.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't wait on him. Miss Wakefield waited on him. She said, he's a nice man. I said, well, I didn't want to wait on him. He was keeping his men out of service.
Right. Uh-huh.
Because he did the work and get deferment.
Right.
But, yeah, I see him down in the cafe. Well, there's a cafe there under my office.
Oh.
Next to us.
Oh, okay.
And of course, I saw him in there all the time. I knew him. And he and the woman he was going with had a party, a dance out at the golf club, and Joyce Moore was invited. And Joyce asked me to go to the dance with him. And I think that was the night that started it all.
So you danced with Papa
Yeah.
Dickey, and that started it, huh?
I started dating him then.
Yeah, the grandmother died in 42? 46? Okay. And so when was that? When?
She died in the early part of 46.
Okay.
She had a stroke.
Right.
That family had strokes.
Right.
And then she had pneumonia. I think she died of pneumonia.
So you met him at, you really got to start getting acquainted at the dance. That's when you decided he was worth looking into. Huh?
Yeah. I've been living in this house, oh, what's 60 years.
Well, and so when you married Papa Dickie, you immediately inherited a daughter, a teenage daughter, didn't you?
Yeah. She was about 15.
What did she think about that?
I don't know. She was a good girl. We got along all right. And I helped her all I could. I think she is more than repaid it.
She's definitely a daughter to
Yeah,
you now.
she has. She's been wonderful. So was Stanley, John's son, and his wife. And then I inherited all the Terry children.
Right. Right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have had any family except some cousins. And I'm outliving all of them now.
I know. It's amazing.
Yeah, they've been, 3 of them died the last few years. I still have Sandra. She's the only one I see because the others are in Oregon and Washington State and Florida. And I have one in Hearst, but she's ill. I don't get to see her.
Was your cousin Sandra in Honeygrove or Paris? Was she?
Sandra lives in Paris.
Okay. And she has a son near Honeygrove or somewhere, I think?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's retired, lieutenant colonel or something. He was in the Air Force all his life.
Oh. Okay.
He was in the Pentagon the day of the bomb.
Oh my gosh.
He and his men were up there. They got out and they drove home. They didn't fly home.
Oh no, you couldn't fly
He
because
was
they grounded
stationed
all the
then
planes.
in New Orleans.
Oh wow.
No, he has a beautiful. They're in North Pine Grove now.
Wow. Well, I bet you have seen changes in Bonham because the railroad came through 1880s, wasn't it? When it
Oh, I remember seeing Sam Rayburn go through on the train, and the woman that he married came through going to Washington.
Oh,
I remember
wow.
seeing her.
Uh-huh.
Of course, they weren't married but a short time.
Right. That was the way to go then, was the train, wasn't it? Because the mail, I assume the mail went by train.
We had buses.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember riding the bus to Dallas to go shopping.
Now, how did you go to Dallas? Because 121 wasn't open, was it?
We went all the back roads.
Oh, okay.
John and I tried every way. Sometimes we'd go around through Leonard, go up there that way, and then he'd go to White Rod and cut through on these back roads.
To get over to 75?
Of course, 75 wasn't there then. It was something.
Oh, it was.
Anyway, we go in. We get down to go into Dallas and go down Ross Avenue to go to town.
You go to the fair every year and stuff?
Well, let's see, no. John and I took Bill and Pat about 1949, I guess. And we had them over the circus in Sherman one night when it just came a flood.
Oh my goodness.
The water was this big, they had to be carried out.
Oh my goodness, so it's like 2 feet deep? Oh my goodness.
Well, you know the circus was always on a muddy place.
Yeah.
Out
Right.
in the field.
Right. Oh my goodness. But you didn't have a problem getting home? Wasn't flooded, the roads
I
weren't
don't
flooded
remember
that
about
year?
getting home. I remember getting out on the field. But the roads to Sherman were terrible. It's a lot of clay, and it'd be all those hills, just hills. And then there'd be a little narrow bridge down at the bottom of the hill.
Right.
And you were just praying you wouldn't meet somebody.
Oh, I imagine. Because of one-lane bridges, probably, huh? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
the roads weren't very good around here for a long time. Of course, we had lots of a lot of businesses going on, around town then. We had several hardware stores and flower shops, and we had dry goods stores then. And there where the cable was, down on Main,
Uh-huh.
was a big 2, 3 story building.
Oh, really?
As was the dry goods store. They had beautiful clothes. That's where my mother bought her clothes.
Where on North Main, where...
That's right on the corner where the old
Yeah.
little cable thing is.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a great big store.
Oh, my goodness. A 3-story
And,
dry
yeah.
goods store.
That's where my doll came from. That doll that I have, the big China doll.
Oh, I will have to show
Yeah, I got
it.
it when I was 10 years old. Yeah, she's pretty old.
Oh, my goodness. And she came from that store.
And I remember going there all the time. Her mother bought clothes there.
I've been trying to picture where the businesses that used to be around the square.
And then in the middle of the west side was Herbert's with another dress shop. And over on next to the eye center, Reynolds had a
Okay.
dress shop.
Oh,
And then there was another one. And people from Wyndham had another shop on that same side, dress shop. And we had Hortzlinger,
right.
my goods,
Right.
and
And White's, where the building that burned was White's, wasn't it?
yeah.
And it was there, I guess, during those, I think it opened in the 20s or something.
You may not want to record this.
Okay, so where the old Tasco was a parking garage where you could
Yeah, it was
put
big-
your car
big-
when
yeah,
you were working.
Yeah, big garage, great big garage.
And you said it was owned by the Leatherwood
Leatherwood
brothers? Were they
The
brothers, I
brothers.
guess? Wow. Well, what is the Panther Row they call that down there?
That was over here on, where the old the National Bank.
Uh-huh.
Then there was a drugstore.
Okay.
And then there was Spidey's, another department store, big store.
Okay.
And then it went downhill from there. John had a hamburger place there.
Oh.
Now, no, we sold the milk. I remember going there and eating hamburgers all the time. And then there was a grocery store, Elkins grocery store, and then there was a cafe that my friends had, and that's where everybody ate. It was the best place in town. Sam Harledge had that cafe. And then there was a big feed store and on the corner.
So there was buildings all the way in
Yeah.
that block where
Yeah.
half of it, more than half of it's empty now, but it was all full of buildings. And was the theater on
We
the
had
east
three.
side there?
We had three. The best was over on the south side. It had mostly westerns. It was really 10 cents.
Close to where Hunt's was, or?
Yeah,
Or something?
down
Okay.
across the river, down below that. And then the Elite was over on the west side. And then the American was down.
Was down there, the last one that
down
burned.
in three.
Wow. Oh my
And I
goodness.
remember they had a movie. It was down there about where, let's see what's there now. Later there was see, we didn't have funeral homes then.
Oh, they weren't funeral homes?
They didn't have funeral homes. You got your caskets at these other stores. I think what kind of stores they were.
Well, I
And-
was
and
thinking
you-
I saw something about a hardware on the east side. Something had She used to have a sign that said caskets or something. I seemed like I saw in a picture or something.
Probably. But you had funerals then at the church or at your house.
Mhm. So when did the when was the first funeral home, or do you remember?
I don't remember when Mr. Wise went into business down there.
Was it a house first before it became
Yeah.
a funeral home?
Yeah, he was president of the bank at Scarborough.
Oh.
Anyway, they're the one that later built the house where Bill just vacated
Oh, okay.
when they sold it.
On
Well, the funeral home was there in about 37, because that's when Grace and I were in Kerrville,
Uh-huh.
and Joe wanted to buy. Mr. Wise was postmaster then, and he had to sell it. So and Joe had been working there, and he wanted to buy it. So he came down there to talk to Grace, about going into business.
Oh.
And so I know that's they was there then.
Wow.
But we went back to the farm after Lil came down with TB before I did.
Oh, before you did?
Yeah. And that's the only house we lived in town that's still standing.
And where is it?
It's the apartments on West 8th across from White Center.
Oh, okay.
Dr. John Neville owns them. And we had that apartment before she got sick. So she decided to go back to the farm. She rented to some friends of hers.
Uh-huh.
And she built a porch and a bedroom onto it. And we went back out there. And they were still having funerals in the houses then, because we had several of these people that lived there.
Oh.
The Reeds, several of their relatives died, and we had funerals there in the house. That was in 30s. But talking about my mother, when she broke down, she was going with I.W. Evans. This article was in the paper the other day about him.
Uh-huh.
Well, he didn't know the rest of the story. You were going to tell him,
Tell me about it.
That he married again. But he was going with my mother when she came down with TB and wanted to marry her and take care of her. But fortunately, she said no. And so he married Mary Coleman.
Mary Coleman?
No, Mary Coleman. Coleman family had lived over here in this two-story house. It's a big family.
On the west side of Cedar?
Over there on the corner.
Okay.
And
she had never been...
she, Mary and Idris lived together over there in the apartment on Main Street.
She had never been married?
Oh. No, she had a furniture store. But then when that discount store is there on Main,
yes, okay.
she had the furniture store.
Oh. And they married, and then...
And he didn't live too long, but she and Idris, his daughter, lived together over in the apartment over Main.
Oh, wow.
Very good arrangement. They got along beautifully. Idris was a Methodist too, and had taken care of the library, because she had taught second grade.
Oh, uh-huh.
Fort Bay English.
Oh, wow. So, you were always a Methodist? So were you baptized in the First Methodist Church before they?
Yeah, the old Methodist church. Yeah, see, as long as we lived out on the hill, see, we just had buggies then,
Right.
And of course they had the milk at noon, and then we moved out here. My aunt lived on 7th Street too. My favorite cousin, Maurice.
Oh.
She and I were the same age. We were just like sisters. She didn't have a sister either. So she started taking me to Sunday school.
Oh.
I was 5 or 6.
And so y'all came into town to the Methodist church.
Some other people went on First Christian Church, the mother and daddy.
Oh.
But she had joined the Methodist with somebody, one of her aunts, somebody. And so then my daddy joined the church. And he wanted to be immersed.
Oh.
So one Sunday night, Brother French took him on to Christian church, baptized him.
Oh, wow, how about that?
Because see, the Baptists believe in all three kinds.
Oh, okay.
Sprinkling and immersion and pouring.
Oh, okay. Okay, all three kinds. So, what kind of attendance was there? I guess is that why they decided to build a new building? Was because
Well, it was just falling in on us.
oh, well, had they built it originally? The Methodist congregation.
Yes, I think it had burned too at one time or something. But anyway, they had built it back, and we met there until it was in the 50s, I guess, when they built the recreation room first.
Oh, okay. And then they just took
we met all around. There was a big two-story house just north of the church.
Oh, okay.
Middle of that block, and I know we had Sunday school there. And then there was a house over on the other side, over there where the White Center is. And we met at Sunday school later. And then we finally got the sanctuary built.
Yeah, it was quite an undertaking, I guess, financially, wasn't it, for the congregation?
Sure was. Of course, we've lost many of our. Winnie Beasley always paid us out of debt at the end of the year. She lived in that little bungalow across from where Bill lives.
Oh.
A little bungalow here. And so at the end of the year, whatever we needed, she paid us out of debt.
Oh.
And so then was the liberal giver. We had several. We just wouldn't be there then. But we had a big congregation then. The church attendance is almost everywhere now, they say.
It used to be.
And in Europe, so full of people go to church.
Right. Yeah. It's awful. So when did you meet the Brannons? What? Because Granddaddy Brannon came to Bonham.
Oh, I bought lots of things at their store. So that's Brannon's, that's where I met. Of course, Miss Brannon was working there all the time.
Did you meet him, Daddy Brannon before he married grandmother?
No.
No.
He'd already married her. He married her when she was about 17.
Yeah. Right. And she always worked in the store, didn't she?
Oh, my mother said she was such a beautiful girl. When we were living out north of town, when I was a baby, the roads had the movie, the best. And they lived up the lane from us. They lived up here, we lived at the end of the lane. And so my mother would, when they started up, she would take tickets.
Oh.
And she said she remembered Miss Brannon, what a beautiful girl she was, and she wore white a lot.
Oh. And she started working for Granddaddy, and
she ran the store. She worked.
And they married, and I guess he did the watch repair and stuff, and she waited on the customers probably.
He was older and he got sick.
Right.
Yeah. See, Nancy and Martha Lou were best friends. So we were in and out, picking her up to go places.
All right. And did they live in the big house? 417 East 9th at that time?
There were a good many stores on the north side too.
Yeah, theirs was right on where the dollar.
It was on the corner. The store was on the corner. And Red Peter had a drugstore. He was a brother to the other Peters.
Oh, okay.
And
do you know? Did the other Peter own that whole block? Do you know?
Mr. Peter, the old man, J.W., came here from New York, I think, and I must have run out of money. He and another man got off the train here, about 1912, I think. And he married a Doss, and her family owned all that property. That's the reason.
Oh, that's how he acquired it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then there was just mud streets then. There's a picture down in the museum of my daddy and his milk truck when he was working down. I don't know who he was working for then. And then probably Lindsay. And then picture of us up there by where the Poudre Alley is. We were over on that street facing west in a beautiful little buggy. And I was the baby sitting in my mother's lap. It's down in the museum.
Oh, it is? Oh my goodness, I have to go see it. Oh, wow.
My daddy liked horses.
And you said you liked dogs.
Yes, I was fond of dogs. My mother loved the cats.
Oh.
But she had dogs too. Yeah, I've been a caretaker all my life because my daddy got sick when I was about 8 the first time.
Oh, goodness.
He was real sick, and we had a horrible winter when they bought the farm. It was the snow and the cold, and he was sick. So we were down at my grandmother's stalls on East 8th Street. And Lil would get up in the mornings, and they called them jitneys then, cab. And he wouldn't take her, he'd just take her to that first gate, where the gate is at the cemetery.
Uh-huh.
And she'd have to walk on out to the dairy.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
spend the day there, seeing things were going all right.
Uh-huh.
And he was just sick then. I don't remember they had pneumonia problem, but I remember I was about 5 years old. And then his health was bad, so I remember having to take care of him. After he lost sight of one eye, I'd read to him.
Oh, wow.
And of course, we all rubbed his back every other day. He had backache. And then Lil was sick a lot.
Wow.
So it seems like when I married John Dick, he'd never been sick till I married him. It was just a succession of operations. We had trouble scheduling things.
Oh, my goodness.
We said, now which one we're going to have next?
And then after he died, you took care of Lil.
Yeah.
And she lived to be...
99, in 5 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was 80 when she died. And I've been taking care of her all my life, practically.
Yeah. Wow. My goodness.
And I started traveling. I hadn't been anywhere. John loved to travel. We went lots. He took me places I would never have gone. Like down in caverns.
Oh,
And I wouldn't even go in a storm house.
Oh.
My daddy kept me in the storm house. I hated it. Oh. And he died in March. And first time storm came up, Lil woke me up. She was walking the floor. What are we going to do? I said, I'm going back to bed. You can do anything you want to. And I never said put in that storm house again.
Well, I was surprised to see a picture of a baseball team here. I guess a professional one.
They even had one when I was in my teens because one of my boyfriends played in it. Lefty Thompson.
His name was what?
Lefty Thompson played baseball. I remember going to Overton to see him play.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a long way to go.
It was a dusty road too.
I bet so. Wow. Well, where did you start the school? If you lived out there?
Yeah, I started school on my 7th birthday.
You didn't go to school very long, did you? So was it where the Sam Rayburn
Yeah.
library?
It was a big 3-star building.
Wow.
And it was high school when my mother was going to school.
Oh, it was high school before that.
Mr. Evans was her principal.
Oh, and that was there. And then they turned it into elementary school.
Duncan.
Duncan.
was Duncan School.
Wow.
And I didn't know many of these people from Baby English until we got to high school.
Oh. Oh yeah. Cause there was a elementary school at Bailey English and then the one at
That was
Duncan.
the east part of town, and this
Uh-huh.
is the west part.
Oh. What
That's
is
the baby cat.
Mickey?
We overslept this morning.
Oh.
Oh,
You wanna check me out? That's okay.
he usually comes in and wakes me up, to get out.
Uh-huh.
Well, this morning, when I finally got up at 9 o'clock, the door was still locked, and I thought, did I lock that door after letting the cat out? In a few minutes, he came dragging in. He'd overslept too. I had to let him out.
Oh, you're a beautiful kitty. Oh, pretty blue eyes. And he's 10? 10 years old?
We'll be in June.
Beautiful. Oh,
We're going to celebrate my birthday this year on July the 17th.
on July the 17th?
That's when I'll have in 5 years since my cancer surgery.
Oh. So you say you'll celebrate
We're
your
going to celebrate there.
I have to put that on my calendar. Oh. What about the hospitals? Where were the hospitals?
Allen Hospital.
Allen Hospital was
Allen.
there?
Yeah, we were in and out of that place all the time. I remember I had my tonsils out there. I had appendectomy there. I had pneumonia there. Of course, my daddy was in and out. Lil was too.
Oh my goodness.
We lived out there 1 year.
Oh.
She had TB. She was in that east wing room. Of course, she shouldn't have been there, but Dr. Kennedy was running it. His wife's people were Allen's. Of course, he was running the hospital. Of course, she shouldn't have been there. But anyway, I stayed in the basement and slept with Maud Gross. You remember Alvin Gross's wife?
Oh, yes I do.
They lived out on East 12.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, she was a nurse and had a room downstairs, and I slept with Maud. We dated together. I was working then before I got sick.
Oh wow. Well, and then on the west side of Center Street, I understood that building that I think Tim was born in, that before they built the new one across the street from it, that 2-story house was a hospital there, right? Or not?
No, Allen was on the hospital.
Okay. I somehow had in my head that there was, maybe it's just a doctor's office or something there. At 9th and, no, it's at 10th and Center Street on that west side.
Oh, that was Risser.
Okay.
That was Risser who came along later.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
he's younger than I.
Okay.
I went to junior senior with his brother Gene.
So then was the Allen Hospital still in business
It
then?
was there until they built this one out here.
Oh, okay. But they had a Risser clinic there.
Yeah, I was there on where all that stuff is now,
Yeah.
And his hospital, that was his hospital. And his office was over there where the bookbinder is.
Oh, okay. I was thinking maybe they built the bookbinder in later, but it was there.
Well, that was
that
his
was
office over there.
that was his office
Yeah.
in the hospital or
It was over in
clinic.
that house.
Was in the house there on
Yeah.
10th and.
That was Miss Sweeney's house.
Oh.
She had charge of the nursery in our church, Miss Sweeney. And Rachel, her daughter Rachel, was in my graduating class.
Oh wow. Which reminds me, we were talking. Somebody was telling me about the Catron Park. Catron Park was actually called some lot. Somebody lived in that big 2-story house there.
Well, when my mother was growing up, her aunt lived over here on the corner from that park, and it was Fisher's then.
Oh, it was Fisher's, okay.
And then it was called something else. Then it got to be Catron Park.
Oh, okay.
because they did love. The Catherine brothers had the ice factory here.
Oh, where was it?
It was down there where on the corner by the Southwest Pump.
Okay.
And it had been the ice house. That's where we used to pick up the big blocks of ice.
For your dairy.
Yeah.
And they gave money toward fixing that park up?
Evidently they did. John Catherine and the other one's name, he was a oddball. Rush Catherine and John Catherine.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I understood there was a wagon factory here, I guess maybe before.
We had a wagon yard, I remember.
Oh.
It was down there across from Smithmore Williams.
Oh, okay. Where the
Yeah, people would come into town and leave their wagons and horses down there while they shopped.
Oh. Well, they had to have some place to put them when they and water and feed their animals. I guess.
I know my daddy got me a dog down there.
Oh.
I wanted a dog without a tail so I could put a diaper on it. Yeah, I played with dogs all the time. They put them in my buggy.
And so we found you a dog without a tail.
Yeah, there's a picture in my scrapbook in there. What they could hold that buggy.
What did your families get together for big get-togethers a lot?
I don't ever remember having a family reunion.
Not ever. Well, even holidays like Christmas?
Well, see, we had to stay at home.
Because of the dairy.
I remember Christmas, sitting on the Christmas tree and eating all day. My grandparents, Lo, would usually come there. And we went to the Spahl every Monday night to eat.
Oh, so
I remember the buttermilk. I like that.
So weekly you went to your grandparents. Did you remember any particular recipes or food that they fixed or anything?
No, see, we had a cook. We had a black girl, Corrine, and her little boy, and I played together. She'd bring him when she'd come to work. And of course, you know, they always made such good pies. So, everybody worked. I had my chores. I did all the dusting and dishwashing and kept the Delco plant running. See, we had to have our own electricity. They wouldn't put electricity out there.
So you had your own...
We had our own electricity, Delco plant. It was in a little building, and I had to keep up with that and run it so many hours to keep everything going.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I remember when we got lights. I was
so relieved, huh?
Oh, yes.
Well, did you have a well, or what did you do for water?
No, we had city water.
You had city water?
And then we had our own plumbing when there were a bathroom.
So what, you had radio, I guess?
I remember our first one. Jimmy Smith built it, the crystal set, and it was just mostly static. There was so little of anything you could get, no program.
Right.
And that was the first one. I was still in grammar school then.
Uh-huh. So do you remember December 7, 1941, what you were doing when you got
I was
the
in
news?
Sherman. This Bernice Newman and I had worked together. We'd been in Sherman. I don't know what we were doing on Sunday over there in the afternoon. We'd been to a movie or what. But we were coming home. We got home about 7. That's when we heard about it.
Oh, wow.
And the day that Kennedy was assassinated, I had come home for lunch. And when I went back to work and walked through the hall, everybody was running into the auditorium where the TV was.
see that
He was
thing.
assassinated.
Mm. Oh. So do you remember when the courthouse burned in
Yeah, I was there.
1929? You were there?
Yeah. I'd been out on a date and we came in late and the thing was on fire.
Oh my God. The roof, I understand, was red on the original.
I don't remember being married,
You don't remember it?
but in those days they tried to keep the clocks running to that and they had
Right.
4 clocks then.
Uh-huh. Oh my goodness. Well, what'd you think when you saw it burning?
I was shocked at course.
Because you didn't, I guess, were records in the basement when you did research and stuff then? Or did you do research for those? Wow.
No, we did everything on the first floor when we'd have to go over probate records.
They were all in the first
district
floor.
clerk was up on the second floor where it is now.
Uh-huh.
That's where we filed divorce suits. Amy.
Oh my gosh.
That's
So you made straight A's in Latin?
never studied. My friend and later my sister-in-law, Hazel Hancock, she tells this on me. She said, we walked around, where we lived. She lived there by the Catholic Church, and I lived over here in the middle of the block.
Okay.
She said, you helped me carry my books home, and then you went out on a date. She made good grades, but she studied 2 hours every night.
Oh wow. And you didn't have to study.
So,
So did you learn shorthand in high school?
no, and when I got there, they quit having it. They'd had it before. But see, that was during Depression.
Right.
And they stopped it that year. No, my aunt taught me.
Oh wow.
She had worked for Cunningham and Lipscomb.
So was that before you started or after you started to work that you
I
learned?
started to work, of course.
Oh yeah.
I
Okay.
remember she lived in an apartment over on Chestnut Street. She and Alvin McRae had just married. And, they'd been married a little while because she was pregnant, because she quit work. We'd get down in the floor and study. I never did finish the book. And, of course, in the old days, rented a typewriter. And at that time, the other apartment was empty where we were. And I put my little table in front of the window where I could watch the kids to go by. And I was getting down sharp on the top.
So you taught yourself shorthand and how to type. And then you went and got you a job.
See, a lot of shorthand with memory work. And that was the breeze for me. See, that's the reason I did so well in music. My teacher thought I was so talented. Well, I knew better. I could memorize that stuff. And then I'd say, well, you play it for me. Belle Gomer, she was a real talented musician. And she lived across the street from the Baptist church. And the day that Claude Bradford killed himself, I didn't get a music lesson.
Oh.
He had taken all the rich widows' money in town. He worked there was a bank there on the corner where the Peterbilt is.
Uh-huh.
And he spent all that money. Dr. Kennedy's brother and all these old widows wiped him out. So that day, he thought he was going to get some help. They didn't come in. And he went home and went in the garage and shot himself.
Oh my
It was on
God.
a Thursday, because that's when I had Monday and Thursdays I had music. And I got over to Miss Gober's. She and Miss Dawes, Miss Dawes lived next door. They were out on the porch. Miss Dawes had come over and she was on the end of the porch. And I remember standing there on the end of the porch hearing them gossip. And see, she didn't tell Mary, her daughter.
Oh.
She'd had Mary when she was 40.
Oh.
And she had a son who'd been there, of course. He lived 4 words, lots older. But Hazel, Miss friend of mine and later sister-in-law. She and Mary were good friends, and they'd all run around together in Big English. So one day, Hazel's brother got in trouble. So one day over at school, in front of everybody, she told Hazel that she couldn't run around with her anymore. Well, the Hancocks were always real good with the words. I mean, I don't know where I was. I didn't hear it. But they said she told Mary in no uncertain terms what happened in her family. Mary didn't know it.
Oh my gosh.
See, Mr. Bradford should have warned Mary not to be a snob.
Right. Oh my goodness.
And Dr. Cole's wife heard it, Lena May. She said, of course, not many people liked Mary because she was snobbish. Lena May said, I've never had anybody do me as much good in my life. Red, I can just imagine how Hazel told her all, because they're all big talkers.
Oh, wow. And I understood from Grandmother Brandon that the house they lived in was on Island Bayou, or just off of it there on Park?
No, it was on the end of Park Avenue.
End of Park Avenue.
There wasn't a 3 street then. I'm telling you that staircase was the prettiest thing I ever saw.
I understood from Grandmother that it went to Hollywood and that she'd seen it in movies. Do you know?
No, but I went down. It was gorgeous. Miss Bradford lived to be real old. As far as I know, Mary's still living too.
Oh.
She married and lived in Chicago while then she was in Florida. See, I kept all the school records too.
Oh.
For the Williams. Kept up with everybody and
oh wow.
sent out all the notices.
Invitation.
Now they don't. We don't have to do that. We just keep up with them. We at that time we had to do all the invitations and everything. And I just had my class. Well, then people kept dying, so I inherited Lena May's class, which was 30. Then I got 33. Anyway, I ended up with a bunch even till life reunion.
So last reunion you still
Yeah,
kept up with all these
keeping
people?
up with them.
Oh wow.
That's where Bill's secretary and I got to be such good friends.
Oh, was working on that.
And see, I still remembered a lot of these people. Nobody else did, or where they were. And I had kept up with I had kept the obituaries. I cut them out of the paper. So I had all these obituaries that people wanted to know.
Well, oh wow, how neat. So you've got all kinds of neat things I might need to see one of these days.
Well, I'm still keeping up with the obituaries. I've got an envelope full over there now to give her.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
But I talked about my selective memory now. I didn't like science.
Oh.
And I could have never done anything in that field because I can't be in the same room with a mouse.
Me either.
I couldn't have ever done anything where you had it. I hate them. Just, it's not because they're going to hurt me. I just
despise them.
Just horrible.
Yeah, me too.
Now, snake doesn't bother me, but I think they can stay on the side of my mouth.
Oh, me either. You know, I was just thinking, when we first moved here in '80, there was a man that was kind of, you know, not quite right or something. He just sat around the square and stuff. I remember, and I don't know what happened to him. I guess somebody.
I think the one you're talking about, he was sort of crippled too.
Yeah.
He was related to George Moore's wife, Thomas's. I think he was from Dodge City.
Oh, okay.
And he had a little concession stand in the courthouse at one time.
Or in the basement?
No, I think it's on the first floor.
Oh, okay.
There was a restroom in the basement in the early days.
What else was in the basement?
I don't know. I didn't go down there.
Oh, you never did go?
No.
Wow, that's interesting. What was your favorite food? What did you like to eat when you were a child? Did you have something you especially liked or disliked?
I ate everything. I was a big eater. I tried to eat as much as my daddy did. I remember, see, we fed the 2 hard hands too.
Right.
And I remember with breakfast, we'd have cereal with cream, and we
Cook
had,
cereal?
and we'd have steak and biscuit. I'd eat 5 biscuits because my daddy did. I was
What?
fat.
Oh.
And see, I got fat when I was about 8, and they removed my tonsils when I was 11 or 12, and I lost 20 pounds. That's it. I never had any weight problems then on.
Oh, wow.
But we had a big, huge garden. See, my daddy grew up poor, and he had this huge garden, and we had all these chickens, and we had 7 or 8 big fat hogs that big to kill every fall. We didn't have to buy anything but bananas and things like that, sugar.
Coffee.
Oh, we had food galore. Everybody liked to come to our house. And we had fruit trees. I don't care for peach ice cream to this day because we had homemade peach ice cream. That's what everybody wanted. I don't care for it anymore.
Had too much of it.
But the only cake I remember that they'll make is after we moved up with Aunt Nettie Brookball. She owned this little duplex where we moved. She was a nurse, and she worked out there, and German lady. Of course, she was a good cook. And she gave me the recipe for pineapple upside down cake. And I guess I still got the heavy iron skillet she made it in.
Oh my goodness.
And we had 3 of them. She had 2 and John had 1. And I sold them. Of course, they're worth a lot these days. Don't ever give that one away.
Oh.
I've still got it in there. Yeah, I think I sold them for $5 a piece. They're collector's items now.
Well, that's what I cook in all the time still.
And it's heavy. I can hardly lift it.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, she made the pineapple upside down cake in that.
Wow.
She could make good biscuit. And I remember she didn't cook much, but she could fry the best chicken I ever ate. And she did good selling croquettes. But we didn't eat too well after my daddy died. You know, she was not well and running around. She had a boyfriend, and of course I didn't care whether I ate or not. I was too busy running around too. We didn't eat too well.
That happens. What teachers did you have?
Well, I had the best first grade teacher, Nanny Bell Madry. Our people lived over here along the Broadwood Street now. Big old house. She never married. Her sister married Mr. Wiggins. You know, remember Jimmy Wiggins? Okay. She married his daddy.
Oh, okay.
And they had a property over there where the eye center is. Nanny Bell was a pretty woman and so smart. And she, of course, I had to be read to every night before I'd go to sleep. And I guess if I'd had any encouragement, I'd been reading myself because I learned to read in 2 months when I got in the first grade.
Oh, wow.
Nobody had time though, it was made too much.
Right.
But, and then second grade was, I needed English.
Oh.
And when I was there, when was that now, about 22, she'd already seen the class graduate.
Oh my goodness.
She belonged to Methodist Church, and she wore flowered hats. And I remember when we were moving around in Leland, we quit wearing hats so much, after you went to the beauty shop. We gave her a load of flowered hats.
Oh, shoot. Well, you had to wear gloves when you went out in those days, didn't you?
When we went to Dallas shopping, we wore heels and gloves and hats. And we park up at Tachi's and shop around because we go over on that street to Dreyfus and Neiman's and down and come across to A. Harris. I bought lots of things at Harris. I had a lady named Miss Diamond that waited on me. In those days, you sat down and they brought the clothes out. And I remember she told me one day, she said, If you wore a size 8, I could picture you with a lot more things. I was wearing a 10.
Oh.
Of course, that now, I don't know what it would be now because I wear a 4. The sizes are different.
Uh-huh.
And I remember the next time I went back, I was size 8.
She had lots of things for you to.
What I did. But, of course, right after that, the blacks started coming to stores. Well, all these ladies were ones that her husband had died, and they had to work.
Uh-huh.
And they all wore black and so dressed up. And, that stopped because they all left and they put things out on the rack then.
Oh.
That's when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I was already married then, John. Yeah, I was married to Estes first.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was during the war. Everybody was marrying the soldier, and he was the first one. See, I just got up from TB, and he's the first one came along and wasn't afraid of me. See, we had TB people wouldn't even come in where we were. They'd look at us through the window.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
We were here at Mom the first 6 months. We were both sick. So, he was the first one came along, wasn't afraid of me. He was from Monahan's. Good family. But he was sorry. He turned out to be spoiled rotten.
Oh, my.
Oh. Grandmother Dolly was the matriarch of the family, so they had all. But his family didn't have money. But his uncles all did. And Dolly they called her. She was his grandmother. And they all spoiled him for some reason. I don't know why. And he didn't know the truth. He wouldn't know the truth to save his life. And so he went overseas. We were the fortune teller in town at that time. This is down on 4th Street, an Indian lady. And she told all us things that just came true. She told me, she said, of course he couldn't tell me where he was. He was out in Massachusetts somewhere before he went over.
Uh-huh.
She told me when he was going and said, he won't be over there very long. When he goes to France, he's going to get shot in the elbow. And he won't be there long. He'll be back in England. Well, time he could talk or write to me, he was in England and his elbow had been shot. He was in the hospital. And she told me that I was going to marry a man with 3 children. She told Inez Cobbin that her husband was out at Fort Ord in California, and he was dropping on her. Inez got on the bus and went out there and got him.
So what happened to your husband? What, did he get out or did
Yeah, he finally got out, and I was working the draft board, and he filed suit for divorce. But when he came back in, Homie didn't even go up to see about it. So I was drawing the checks every month. I didn't care when they got a divorce. So finally, see, I could have got a divorce for nothing. I worked as a lawyer, so I didn't do it. I thought I'll be a divorce. I was real mad about it. And he said, well, what brought it up, he said that he wasn't going to work. He was going to come and let Lil support him. I said, I've got news for you. I'm supporting Lil right now. And he said, well, it's that where else? I said, well, else never looked so good to me. That was the end of it. Because we all work in our family.
Yeah.
That's important to him.
So do you know what happened to him?
Because he liked to drink. Yeah, he was on the police force in Monahan. Somebody told me later, I'm as he's dead by now because there's that old saying.
Wow.
I imagine several people got soldiers like that.
I know you did. I know you did.
Yeah, the old bunch of us went down there. And I don't think she charged us either, because people that have that power, they don't charge. They'll lose it or something. They put it that well. It's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
But that lady knew what she was talking about, because everything she told all of us came true.
Wow. Did you have a favorite pair of shoes when you were a child?
Oh, I loved high heels. I love shoes, and when they didn't make my size, hardly at all. I had a hard time. John didn't realize how hard until he retired and started shopping with me,
Uh-huh.
and we'd go around trying to find shoes my size. Yeah, I worked in high heels. I loved them, and I wore them up until, I had some beautiful shoes here and I finally gave them to
Did you ever hear your parents talk about any ancestors who were famous or infamous, or talk about your ancestors at all?
yeah, and my grandmother Stahl used to talk about a lot, and I wrote a lot of that down because her daddy was married 5 times.
Oh my goodness.
She's probably the reason we're not Jews. See, Grandpa Stahl was German, and all the Stahls in Dallas and everywhere else are Jews.
Oh.
He's probably a German Jew. But, that comes down through the mother. And Grandma Stahl was from England. Her people were, she was a cook. And her daddy was married 5 times. She just had about one full sister, and she had all these. I met them. 2 of her half brothers came from Nebraska, and I remember seeing them, and they gave me $1. They were really dressed up. They were well together. And then Grandpa Stahl had a brother, John Stahl, in Houston.
Oh wow.
And evidently, everything in Pennsylvania had a mill on the end of it. You start looking at the map.
Oh.
And that's how the Jacksons came to Texas. They got Bill's grandfather to come here to manage a mill that was out there on the way to State Park.
Oh, okay.
And Aunt Fanny built them a house next door to her, and it's still standing down there.
Down by the mill?
On Cedar Street.
Oh, on Cedar Street.
And she had a big 2-story house, Mr. McMillan built. And they say he walks. Of course, that's the only way he had to get there. He walked every day with his little lunch basket. They had one daughter, Annie, and she had gone to this girls' school that they had over there.
Oh, the Carlton School?
Yeah. And she was a musician. Well, she didn't have any children, so she was a Baptist. So she took me with her all the time. She took me to the ladies' aids, because I could play the piano for her. And I remember eating lunch with them so many Sundays, so I must have gone to church with them too. I remember going to Baptist church so much. And then when I was in high school, I ran around with Baptists, and I never went to the Methodist youth group. I went to BYPU. I played piano. My friend Ethel gave the lessons, and Doris led the singing, Doris Miller. And then we'd get him in old Keaton's car and go riding. We weren't supposed to do that.
Oh.
One night we got in the ditch. Oh, I was on the old road to Ecton. It's not too far out. We got in the ditch. And Ethel Morales came along and brought us the girls home. Nobody ever knew it.
Oh my.
But I went to Baptist church a lot, and I remember taking communion over there, and they never said a word to me. I guess they thought I belonged because I was over there all the time.
So when did you actually join the Methodist Church? Did you join
I was 10
earlier?
years old.
Oh, okay. But you went with your friends. to the Baptist church at all.
Well, I went to church over here all the time, but I went on BYPU at night over there.
I see.
But then later, um, we went to church every time the doors open. We there Sunday night and Wednesday nights and all the time.
We hear the term the good old days. Did people talk about the good old days when you were?
No, not too much. I don't think they were good without air conditioning and comfortable cars and good roads. And I don't think it's good old days. I remember when I had my first air conditioned car. Oh, what a joy. I had never been in one till we went to visit my friends in Dallas. And we went out for a ride in their new car. I came home and I said, that's all I want. I don't care what the wheels or anything else on it, just so it's got an air conditioner.
And how old were you then?
So we had a new Mercury and our mechanic installed an air conditioner in it.
Oh, what you remember when that was?
That was in the 50s.
Oh.
See, John liked to gamble, and if he hadn't, he'd never made it. He would never have gone out on a limb with that foundry like he did, because he didn't know anything about the foundry business. He'd gone over there, and Locke put him out on the road to bring in business. Well, of course, Locke was a good old soul and never really lifted a finger. And Edith, his wife, was like John. She was a worker.
Uh-huh.
And he came back in and there was all the work. Wasn't getting done because Locke could do nothing. So that's when he pitched in and started trying to learn the foundry business. So he didn't know too much when he came over here to the foundry. And worked Southwest Pump. Anyway, he came down that night and worked for Vina Genius. He came down there at night and worked with John, helped him work out problems with the stuff, or he never made it.
Oh, wow.
And Raleigh Ryan kept everything going. Of course, there's always something like breaking down. Raleigh Ryan kept electrical work going.
And he had his shop, was there behind the Methodist church, wasn't it? 'Cause I
He was
remember.
one of John's best friends.
Oh, wow.
And so was this other. So the names just leave me. That's how I miss my memory.
Yeah, I know it.
Vicky? You think some more value in
Yeah. What do you remember about the weather? You said, you think it was colder back then when you were a
it
child?
seemed like to me it was, because they made me wear those old long underwear. Put them on me in November.
Uh-huh.
And it seemed like to me it was. Seems like we had a lot of cold weather. You know, like when my daddy was sick, we both the places. Horrible winter. Snow, cold.
Do you remember any particular storms or anything, floods or anything
Yeah,
particular?
I remember when they had the storm. Well, one weekend, John and I were fishing up at the lake at their flatter plant where the men had that cabin. He had 6 men had their cabin up there.
At where?
At flatter plants. That's on the other side.
Oh.
It's in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
And we've been up there on that weekend. They had this cottage up there, and he and Showbray and John, Polly's husband, what's Polly's name? Smith, John Smith, and Herbert Burrow, and John Arledge, Stuart Arledge. Anyway, there was 6 of them had this cabin. But we were up there that weekend by ourselves, and we'd been out in the boat, and the cloud came up, so we came ashore. And it was raining, so we couldn't come home. Water came practically up, encircled us. So we came home that day, and when got out here on the highway, there was just cars and cars and cars. And they were all turning there, where the drive-in theater was and going south. And that's when it had just wiped out Randolph.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, it was Saturday night and people were in town, most of them. But we drove out, we came home and cleaned up and drove out there. And the ground was just...
A tornado just destroyed all the houses?
Yeah, about 8. And there was where they'd been was just flat. I mean, there wasn't anything.
Oh my gosh. Whew.
And that happened while we were up there on the lake.
What, did the school at Randolph just sit there and fall down from disuse?
I guess.
So it wasn't hit though at that storm?
I don't know.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Woo.
I remember it was sure hot in the summers. But I'd like to go barefooted, of course we had red ants. I had to be careful. But I remember I had to make all the trips, back and forth to the creamery from the house. And I remember it being hot in the summertime. But there was a cool breeze out there. How cool it is. Always a breeze when you go for Gerald. It was all like that because I know that summer Lil and I were living out there. I'd come into town and people just had to sleep the wind so hot. And I'd have to have a sheet on my knees because there'd be a good breeze coming in the window.
Out there. There are areas that gets more breeze than others, aren't there?
It's still breezy out there.
Did you ever travel by train?
Yeah. Went to Tulsa. You see, we had that DB and NO down there. You remember where it is? Across from the museum. Railroad. And they went around this way in town and through Ravenna into Denison. And I rode that and across the road to the other train in Denison, which Tulsa. These was my uncle and Aunt Laura Reed.
Oh wow. So did you just sit in the seat or did you have it at Pullman?
Yeah. See, I was 7 years old or 8.
You didn't go by yourself, did you?
No, they'll know it.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So we took a trip to California in 1930. And I'm telling you, some of the roads were just trails.
You by car?
Yes, we drove. Miss Honeycutt and Miss Butts over the head Darcy's out the VA. Of course, they were our closest friends because we were just in and out of the hospital all the time. And she bought a new car, dealership. I was, 15? So we all took turns driving.
And you went all the way to California, just 4 ladies?
The 4 ladies. And when we got to Arizona, Superior, we went down through this tunnel and into this little town to spend the night. And during the night, the police came and got us because the water was gushy down beside that motel. And took us up to the hotel. And then we had to stay there till the next day, about noon. Then, on their motorcycles, they led us around a trail out of there so we could get on. And across the desert, this little road looked like it about that high. It was honeycombed, it was built up, and honeycombed all around the edges. That was the way we got into it. And we spent the night part of the night in Yuma. Hot.
Oh my God.
Oh, Miss Honeycutt always hung her hat on the bedpost. She could get up and get ready to put that hat on ready to go. And Miss Butt and I slept together. And I remember Miss Butt had a pretty bar pen people had then. And she had put it in the curtain and it got left there in that motel where we...
Oh no.
But when I was going to see my Aunt Dick, now my Aunt Dick was the one that I was so close to. That was my daddy's sister. And she lived to be 95. Didn't have a wrinkle in her face. She had the prettiest complexion years long.
Oh wow.
But Stanley took care of her.
Oh.
She had one boy, and he died suddenly of a heart attack about 67. But Stanley didn't know her, but he knew she was my aunt. He went over and took charge, and he looked after her till she died.
Oh,
It
wow.
couldn't have been a child if it did, I tell you. Because after she was sick, he was there all the time. Nicky, quit that! He was there all the time. He was there then. He told him he was her. See, she was in a apartment, and like a gated area,
Oh.
and he told her he was he was her nephew in order to have a key.
Uh-huh.
He get up on the second floor. But she got down and was so sick the last year. And I remember when they get, of course, Stanley and I were always close from the word go as soon as we met.
Uh-huh.
And he wrote me a letter while she was sick, the year before she died. And in it he said, they called her Bertha, so she was named Nick to me. He said, Bertha wants you to have something now. And of course, I wouldn't think that, and the check dropped out for $10,000. Well, I got on the telephone and I said, Stanley, she had just been a seamstress. And her husband had abandoned her. And he said, sure she can. So, of course, when she died, she left me a bunch of money.
Oh,
I was her favorite. Because I was the one that had kept in touch with her, called her all the time. I thought she didn't have anything. I'd always planned to bring Aunt Nick here and take care of her. And, but she could sew, she could make anything in the world. But she never told them at the factories where she worked, she put in hymns. So she said, if they knew how I could sew, I'd be doing everything.
Oh, yeah. So
But she learned to make hats, and she just could do anything.
oh, my, amazing.
But I sent her material all the time because she was odd shaped. She had little waist and she couldn't get my clothes to fit her. But she made her own clothes, so I sent her material all the time to make her clothes. Well, I lost her and Marguerite. They married each other. One of them died in 85 and one in 86.
Oh, wow.
Marguerite and I were so close.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought, well, when Lil's gone, I'll have Marguerite. Marguerite died a long time before Lil did.
Oh, goodness. Wow, that was hurtful, wasn't it?
But when we came back from California, we didn't go. We came, and that's when it was a pin trail. We came around through Tucson, lower, so we didn't have to go up over the mountains.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and that tunnel we came through collapsed.
Oh, my gosh.
All that rain.
Uh-huh. Wow.
It's quite an adventure. We stayed out there a month.
Oh.
And later, this Bud was about 50-something, and she'd always wanted a family. She'd never been married. I guess about the time this place was closing before, she and two other nurses went out there and went to work. She was married 3 times before she died. Go west. And Lil had, Miss Butt had a niece that went with her. She married. And yep, the little cross-eyed was married too.
What kind of home remedies did you have? Things like when you got hurt or anything?
Well, for fire ants I used vinegar. And that's good. That takes care of it. You don't have any after effects. And I always use Bactine for everything. John used something else. He had his remedies. And rubbing alcohol, because we used to put that on my daddy's back all the time. That's still home remedy.
Mm-hmm. Did your family ever have expressions, like watch pot never boils or any of
Yeah,
those kind of.
I guess so. But I never heard my daddy and mother have a crossword.
Oh wow.
That's one thing. They didn't drink, smoke, and they were sick all the time anyway.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Grandmother-in-law took me fishing. We had a pond down on the farm.
Mhm.
I remember going down there and fishing. And at night one time we went down to get frog gigging.
Oh uh-huh.
I remember going down there one night. And Grandma would come out there and pick this stuff. What is it, salad or something?
Well, probably.
Salad.
Yeah, poke salad.
Salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd come out there and get that.
Mhm. And can it, no doubt.
Yeah.
Did y'all, were there county fairs when you were, or do you remember when they first started having like county fairs and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, big fairs. I won first place with embroidery when I was 7. See this lady that took me to church,
Uh-huh.
Annie. She taught me all this handwork. Oh, I could just do beautiful embroidery work.
Oh wow, and you won.
Yeah. And see, nobody else in that age group entered, so I got the blue ribbon, of course.
Oh wow, how about that?
Oh yeah, they had a big wedding out there. And everybody, if they marry out there, all the merchants gave them these things.
What about the Nator and the Natorian or whatever, the swimming
I
pool?
went in there. Yeah, the natatorium was out there. And my daddy tried to teach me to swim. I never did learn to swim.
I understood grandmother to say that some preacher came in and preached hellfire. Of course, the men and women were swimming together. The reason they filled it in is that what
I
you?
imagine so. Sounds like a Baptist. Yeah, it was there in the corner of the park.
Uh-huh. I tried to picture exactly where it was. I can't quite picture it in my mind where it was.
Well, it's along there about where the school is. I know it is.
Or was it L.H. Rather? Which one? Where was
No,
it?
Rather's on this side.
Yeah.
The auditorium was on that side.
Oh, okay.
The corner of the park.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it was along about there.
And the big fair building was over on the other side. And where the football field was.
Uh-huh.
Great big bars. Oh, they had a big fair.
Oh, wow. You have any special memories of those?
Yeah, I would went out there. They had a place where we could dance. Well, it was nice school.
Wow.
We used to have rodeos out there too. That's where the football field was.
Uh-huh.
And I remember my daddy and Lil would go. But my daddy and I went to rodeos. He'd take me shopping. He wouldn't let her go.
Oh.
He'd always get me more than she would.
Oh.
And he's one that bought me that bedroom suit.
You still have it?
Yeah, that white bedroom suit, one Pasco gets.
Oh, wow.
I was 10 years old. My birthday, he got that for me.
Oh,
I
wow.
remember going shopping for some clothes one time. I came home with the cutest. It was a red and beige cape of a thing with hat to match. I remember Lil was so put out.
And you were the only child. He just wanted to do that, huh?
He was more generous than she was. He was stingy with me.
What were some of the books you read?
Everything.
Everything?
Oh, when I learned to read, I never stopped. And when we were in, I remember in the 6th grade, we had this reading period, you know, how fast you could read and how much you could retain.
Right.
Of course, I was good at that. And I read everything. Some of it was not appropriate, but I read everything I get my hands on. When I went practicing the piano and doing my chores, I was reading.
Do you have any recollections of any of times when things could have been really dangerous, like a close call or anything, or?
Oh yeah, I was always getting in trouble. Car wreck. That experience in Arizona was bad.
Oh yeah. Wow.
And we had storms, you know, that on the side of Raven Place out there was just a tornado alley. That's where they came through. And I remember when one came through and killed Mr. Daniel. There was a big old house there where Lady's grocery store used to be. Facing this, and I remember I was working. Bernice Newman lived on right up the way. And she was just frantic because she couldn't get home to see about her mother. And the tornado went up there, and the fireplace collapsed and killed the old man who was sitting there.
Oh wow.
He went all around, did a lot of damage down around towards the telephone. And then the last one that I remember went down Broadfoot Street.
Oh wow.
And kind of moved Dr. Williams' house over a little bit.
Wow. My goodness. Well, and talking about buildings, then I guess you remember when all those were built. I understood that a lot of those on Boyd and they were built right after World War II.
I remember when they were all built, everybody said, well, they, you know, never do any good, so that'd be something to tear down. Of course, some of them I bet was sold 50 times. Yeah, I remember when they built those.
And I think somebody told me I think they were like $10,000 a piece or something like that. Nine. And now they're probably 50,000.
Just tell what they are. I never thought about you wanting this house. What would you do with your 2 bedrooms?
Well, it's just Tim and me at home now, see, so.
But they come home.
Yeah, they do. They come home, but they can sleep on the couch or whatever. Yeah, I just love this house.
Well, boy, we've put a lot into it. I don't remember what we did. I guess this is what we did really first. Well, one thing I did, I bought dining room furniture for that room. Because it had been a bedroom.
Oh.
And you see, there's a partition across there.
Oh.
And that was a porch. And had windows all across there.
Oh.
And in the 50s, we took the partition out and fixed this room, and it had a good hardwood floor, pretty hardwood floor. I didn't kill myself keeping it. Of course, it had to be, the floor was slammed in a porch, that all had to be fixed. And every time we painted the room before we took that out, we'd take out windows. There were 2 windows there, and 3 there, and 2 over there, and 3 over there. No wall space. So I remember taking those 2 windows out first. One painted one time. And then when we took 2 out over there in the corner on the south. So I had a bed down there. I had this bed down there. A full bed here. And when we did the old house over in 58, we went from the front porch to the patio, built the den on, and took in the back porch for the laundry room. Now that summer, I never knew where my bed was going to be when I came in from work. torn up.
What about the values and the meanings of words? You know, like we used to say things were, if they were good, then they were neat. Now then it was a hot, and now they say it's
We
cool.
didn't have that much slang. I don't remember. At least I didn't. I never did pick up that sort of stuff.
I guess it's been an adjustment. Then all the different
I was
stages.
I kept in touch with everybody. If I ever had a friend, I still had them. And I kept in touch with everybody I ever knew. And John's family too, they all died. And then I keep in touch with their relatives. I'm still keeping in touch with the children of the ones that I worked with.
Oh wow!
It was a good thing because I saw in the paper about Viola Wimberly being owed some money when they had that section in the paper this year.
Oh huh.
So I kept in touch with her niece. I let her know. She said, you know, I never thought about looking in the bottom. Said, I'll check Dallas. And so she got $1,000.
Oh wow!
And she's going to donate part of it to the library.
Oh how neat! Oh, that is so cool. Well, we got to tell about you. You said your family and what other families was it came to Bonham together?
Higdon's, that was Bruce Stevens' mother's people. And the Mosses, that was Prony Francis Moss, Ruark, Miss Ruark. They were third cousins of mine.
Oh, okay.
She taught bookkeeping and stuff in school here. We played bridge together. And Kathleen Biggerstaff was her sister. They were third cousins of mine. And the Christians, Alberta married Rose. They came at the same time. We were from the same family, but they married off this way. And Alberta and I weren't cousins, but we claimed to be. We were real close. And there was another family came, and they put in a furniture store. And they lived over on 8th Street. It's over there somewhere behind Fiskers.
Behind what?
You know, Fiskers Grove had it was a flower shop.
Oh, okay.
They lived over the street behind that. I can't think of their name right now, but they came from the same time. I remember visiting with them all the time. We got that. Uncle Johnny Moss was a policeman, I think. I remember we were down there. We visited with them all the time. We used to go to the river. My grandfather Lowe was connected with people down there at Ivanhoe and on the river. His mother was a Slipson. And we were related to the elders at Ivanhoe. You know, that's Liz Staten's grandmother.
Oh, okay.
And John liked, my dad liked to visit, so we visited them and we go on down. And the one on the river had married a fellow from Denmark. And that place just fascinated me because everything was just like the old world, I guess. Only different.
Uh-huh.
I just love to go down there.
Wow. You've seen lots and lots of changes, haven't you, in your lifetime?
I remember probably one of my utilities now, as much as I made working for the office. Buster always said, well, I know when we're not going to get paid. I kept the books. And every time we got enough money to divide, I ran to the bank with it. And he said, I know we're not going to get paid on the first, and then paid for Bernice on the first, and I paid myself later on in the month. He said, we're not getting money then. It was a hard time.
Oh, it was.
And see, Lil had let the lawyers and doctors have money, and I like to get it, I had to get it back. I got it back too.
Oh my goodness.
Dr. Kennedy had no intentions of paying it back, because he'd had the tenant sign the deed of trust on the land that's he borrowed money against out at Evie.
Oh.
He'd had the tenant sign the papers.
Oh my gosh.
So when the time was up to renew it, so it didn't run out of date, Judge Cunningham came back from the courthouse and said, I want you to look at this. He said, Mr. Bentley signed this. No good. So he fixed it up properly. But that's just before I got sick. I remember going over there. Dr. Kennedy's office was full of people. And he cussed me out in front of all of them and told me to get out of there. Of course, you know, I took my seat and I said, I'm not leaving here and you sign those papers. I made him sign them. We fought. He was our family doctor. We fought over everything. He told me I couldn't take Lil to see Dr. Carmen. Well, I loaded her, I was about 18, I guess. I loaded her and Miss Honeycutt always helped us out. Them up and went to Dallas. I'd never driven in Dallas. So we found Dr. Carmen. And another time we were in the basement over there, out there in the hospital. He came in one day and I was packing. He said, where are you going? I said, we're going home. I told him, where we are. Why, I think there's bed bugs down here. I'd never seen a bed bug. I didn't know what they were.
Woo!
Boy, he was horrified. We went home. But he and I tied up over everything. We never agreed on anything.
But you still stayed friends, I guess, somehow, some degree.
Well, I didn't feel very friendly towards him. I don't know how he felt towards me, but I thought he was an old crook. He was. But I carried the checkbook in later life. Lil finally learned to depend on me like she did my daddy. Because I never wrote a check to me that wasn't for her with what needed to be.
She just couldn't take care of herself in that
No,
respect.
I didn't trust her with it. After she let old men have all that money.
Oh my goodness.
And one day, Judge and I got into it about something. He said, well, would you like to have the money now? And I said, I think it's a good idea. I said, you know how Mr. Lipscomb is about money. And I said, you're a lot older than he is. If you died first, I'd never get it. I got that.
You were a tough little cookie.
Oh, I was. I had a lot more sense then than I have now.
Oh, wow. Well, you've lived an amazing life, haven't you?
Well, it's been a long one.
That's right. And hope to be much longer.
Yeah, we've extended a few years, I think.
Oh.